What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, specifically the short-term outlook at the request of Susboy. We're doing this for you. I was actually talking about this with a friend earlier today about where I think the price is going to go, and we were both actually talking about how we think the price is going to move down. Shout out to Leaf on that note. But it feels to me as if the price, and this is what I said earlier in that conversation, was that I feel like, one second. My daughter's crying. I gotta be quiet real quick. Just real quick. We're good. I think we're good. What was I saying? That it feels like the price should have moved up already. And I personally feel like every time that you're in that moment where you're like waiting on the price to move up, you're anticipating it, and it's just not happening. Generally, what happens is the opposite. You move down. People get thrown for a spin. They get shaken out. That's actually the definition of it, right? You get shaken out. It's opposite of what you're expecting. It makes you think that it's going to go lower. And then right there, we move up. Right there at that higher low, that's when we move up. So we could be moving down. We're at 62,170 right now. That's not based on any TA. That's just based on like the kind of environment, the vibe that I'm getting. Call it a gut feeling or just like a deja vu feeling. It feels like I've been here before, right? Anytime, and I've noticed that I'm anticipating the price to move up, and it's been like a week or two, and you're just waiting on it, and it hasn't happened yet. Generally, what you do is you still will move up. Well, maybe not generally, but oftentimes when you still do move up, you get a low first, you get a quick move down, a shakeout, and then you move up, right? So right before it's the pumpiest, it's the dumpiest, as Ivan on Tech would say. If we look at the relative low here to this relative high, and bump it out to the daily time frame, move down. We went from our 382 to our 236. We moved above the 236, but we closed right at it, and we've continued to find resistance here. This kind of behavior, what we're doing right now, 382 to 236 rejection, is indicative that we not only will go lower, but likely down to the 61869 area. 61869 between about 56.5 to 57.5 thousand. We might do that. Bitcoin could do that, and that could scream a halt in the markets or even a little bit of a pullback in the markets across the board over the coming days and over the coming weeks, because I do assume this to happen. I do assume that this will happen soon, right? This is a short-term outlook. If we're looking at the weekly RSI here, it is pretty neutral. We moved above the 50, but we haven't really done anything with it, right? And it kind of looks like, if we're looking at it for what it's worth, it kind of looks like we're disrespecting the 50. Oftentimes on a weekly aspect, Bitcoin really does respect its 50. You can see it here, right? Respecting it pretty damn well. We can go back in time and probably find respect there too, right? Not anything there, to be fair, but right there, right? Not anything there, but throughout time, even just in the area itself. But here it just seems like we're not even caring. We're just going up and down. So perhaps now that we're above it, perhaps we do move down. We get another higher low in the RSI. We get another higher low in the price. If we're looking at the fib again, the relative fib, the area that I would expect would be somewhere around here, right? And we base it off this given trajectory, maybe something like this, right? Up, down, something like that, maybe, right? Maybe I can move this circle over, something like that in the middle of the month, maybe, and then we finish the month with some green side. Something like that could happen. Delete the fibs there. Draw a line there to a line there. I mean, boom, dude, I couldn't do it any better, right? Like literally that circle goes right in the middle of that line there from these higher lows. So not only would it be a perfect golden retracement from this low to high here, a perfect area to find support. Bitcoin loves its golden ratio. Of course it does. Not only would it be perfect in that respect, but also from the 382 to the 236 rejection, generally you do see a move just like that happen. But it would also be perfect in the sense of like this higher low trajectory, this path that we're on right now. And we've also got kind of a flat top here. We could be forming some kind of ascending triangle, as weird as it looks, right? This actually might be the beginning of an ascending triangle. And I would wonder if we wouldn't see the exception of this, or the acceptance of this thought come into play more as we move down here, right? People might start to identify it as that. And maybe it's not an ascending triangle, but really what it is overall, in my opinion, is just a large consolidation phase of an even larger pattern, right? Really what we're in case anybody doesn't know, in case anybody missed that video or missed any video on YouTube, I'm sure a lot of people have talked about this. We're in this giant cup and handle. I'm going to take it out of log because it should be out of log when you measure it, right? But this giant, just absolutely massive cup with handle right here. We're about to break out of it and do some great things, right? So if we do move down, I don't expect that we're going to move like dramatically lower, right? But we're at 62.3K. What was it, 56 to 55.5K, something like that? Was that the price area that we're expected to go to? Low to high. Sorry. Why is the number changed? Is it a different chart? This shouldn't, I don't know why. Maybe I had the fibs drawn wrong before, but this is the target area that we would go to. Doesn't it seem different? I feel like this seems different. Maybe I had the fibs drawn wrong, but still it looks fine from a 382 to 236 perspective, but the targets are different. 57.9 thousand to 56.9 thousand. That's the target area that I would expect us to go to. Okay, that does change things. Does that come in line if we were to go something like this, right? Does that affect this trajectory, that whole thing that I had drawn? No, it's perfect. It actually looks even better. So yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Higher targets even, but something below 60K is what I'm expecting in the short term. I do think Bitcoin's going to move down. Daily RSI itself looking kind of, it's not looking bad. I mean, to be completely fair, actually, this is the one thing making me scratch my head right now, is this actually kind of looks really good. If you break this trend, that would lead me to believe, because it's a daily time frame, it wouldn't be significant to set things back for long, but for a little bit, for a couple weeks, yeah, I could see that, man. And here, I feel like you should have gotten in the overbought zone. You should have lived there. You didn't. You like basically got out and immediately dropped below your 50. And here you are struggling at your 50. I don't know. This actually, I could, as bullish as it looks right now, I could see a scenario where we break this trend. If you break this higher low trend right here, this like ascending trend line that you have, if you were to break out of that, I would expect that that's validation that we're going to move down here. But again, I don't think it's going to be dramatic. Just something, 56.9, 57.9. We're at 62.3 right now. So a little bit down and then up. It's the 9th of October now. I would expect this probably happens over the next week. So the next week might be down, man. And that's okay. That's totally fine. The next week is going to be down. All that to say the next week will be down. And look at that. High to low, rejected your 61869. You're rejecting your 69. I'm calling for you to find support in your 61869. How serendipitous, isn't it? I love it. I freaking love it, man. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more. A little bit of down, then some upside. I think we are, as contrary as it might feel, by the end of this next week. I think that by the end of this month, you guys, we're gonna be, if not at new all-time highs, very near them. It's going to be phenomenal. So that's the expectation. I definitely do expect October to close green and above 70K. That's my expectation. So hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Again, short term's not looking good, but the mid to long term, phenomenal as always. Take care. Bye-bye.